I'm Samuel Adam, and I am an artist farmer. I manage the grapes. I do the farming of these grapes. And at a certain point, then I turn it over to the wine master. The grocery store grapes are not wine grapes. They're our table grapes. The public likes to eat those. We like to drink these. There's 1,172 varietals of grapes, and a lot of times it develops a certain palate. And so people are attracted to a certain white grape, purple grape, red grape, and then they usually eat that all their life. We have red Italian Barbera grapes that we grow on this property. And there's over 2,000 vines here at Hidden Hills Vineyard. It does surprise that we can grow grapes in the desert, but we have the same kind of temperature, altitude that they have in Europe, and so there's no reason why we can't grow grapes as good as they. I don't know if it's a renaissance. The vines here in northern Arizona are about 20, 21 years old, not very old. So the nice thing is about it, when we came here, I knew nothing about grapes, but all my neighbors, all the other developers, they came in, helped out, gave advice. And what happens in this season, every morning for about 2 months, I'm picking their grapes and they're picking mine. So it's a real family group here in the northern Arizona. Yes, straight for wine. It does not get blended. A Barbera should be consumed on its own without anything added to it, and because it's got a very good palate. People are real surprised with how green it is here. They're real surprised when they stay from April to May or June, and they literally, in a 2-day, 3-day period, they can see the growth of 1 to 2 inches. So they grow very fast. These grapes are 20 years old, and that's young. They start out and they can grow 75, 100, 200 years. And it's depending on how you take it and the less nutrients or poisons you put in there, they're going to live longer. They're going to stand up on their own. They're very resilient. Water, water, water. They love their water. And you can see it in their growth. And they will grow after we pick for a month to 2 after it. The leaves will change and you'll start seeing new leaves come up. And so they're a very vigorous plant. You have to control it if you're on a flat surface more than you do on a hill. On a hill, it will drain down. So we calculate it and then we implement it, and maybe about 2 weeks before we pick, we shut the water off, which gives the plant time to get the green berries to purple and get the sugar levels up. We just have great soil. We don't add any chemicals to the plants. Officially, they could be organic, but we're not going through that process. So we just give it a lot of love and attention. When they're growing, you got to make sure wind blows through it. They're aerated, but not too much. And you've got to separate the clusters so that they have their own breathing space. They're really surprised how good it tastes. I mean, sometimes for the first time they've had Barbera and they go, wow, why haven't I heard about it? And it is a really good wine. The Barbera is very acidic. However, this Barbera is very juicy. When the wine master cradles it in a barrel for 18 to 2 years, it softens it. So it's a very good sipping wine. Over the 20 years, we've had at least 6 different tasting rooms work with the grapes. Right now, we're working with Oak Creek. They absolutely love the Barbera, and they take care of them very well. And so right now, Oak Creek, you can buy it either through the mail or visit them at the tasting room. A lot of people from Phoenix during the summer, they're experiencing 110, 115, and they can come up here and the temperature is maybe 10 degrees less, maybe a little more. But at nighttime, it cools down by 20%. So they like that area. That coming to an area where there's a lot of tasting rooms, there's about 18 of them, and a lot of vineyards, it's a good relaxing time for them. Everybody thinks Arizona is just one solid desert, but it's not. We have our own subculture here, and it can be raining on all parts of this valley, but not here, and then vice versa. I always worked the industry where I would be up at work at 7 and get home at 7. Worked in a small community, you might have heard of it, downtown Los Angeles. So coming here, I've learned that power naps are essential because you work in the morning where it's cool, and then you come back out at nighttime and it's cool. And sometimes I'll put a light on and walk the vineyards at night. What do I get out of this vineyard? Just about everything. I mean, my health has improved by working the vineyards. I can still work 8 to 10 hour days. I'm going up and down the hills. It's just a healthy environment. My goals are to leave my family in a better position, leave my vineyard in a better state, and to be comfortable at the end of my life. We owned a graphic and printing store in downtown Los Angeles. We started out to have it do graphics mainly, but ended up doing, since we were half a block away from the courthouse, handling a lot of the law firms. We handled the O.J. Simpson case. And the respect or disrespect you now have for that industry was amazing. We knew that we were going to, my wife and I wanted to have something other than a concrete city around us. And so 15 years ago, we started traveling to about 5 or 6 different states. Came to this spot and said, wow, it has everything and it doesn't have earthquakes or hurricanes or tornadoes. We like the green that we saw here. And it's a beautiful community. What do people need to know? I have no answer for that. People are so strange nowadays, it's just impossible to figure out what people know. I think it needs to start with what you know and what you feel is right, and then move that up the ladder to your family, to your friends, and anybody else that catches on. They'll get the idea of what's right for them. When you're in this vineyard, at least, you're in another world. Because of the incline and because of the height of the plants, you literally are lost. So it was important when I first came here to mark all the rows. And every time I walked into a row, I'd say, I'm in row 20, I'm in row 7. And then to count all the plants. Now, I'm not a fanatic, but there's some viticulturists that name all the plants. So, and since they're ladies, they're all ladies' names. And you might think that's impossible. Well, what they'll do is row 1 will be Annie, and it'll have 20 plants, so it's Annie 1, 2, 3. Row 2 will be Betty. Row 3 will be Kathy. So some people want to do that, and they talk to their plants. Some vineyards, they actually pump music in or play their music loud when they're walking through. They say it makes a difference, but it's probably just for the person, just for the farmer. I would normally say that if I was more in touch with what others are doing in the farming industry and the politics behind it. We do have our politics when it comes to vines, but so far we're not touched with it that much. So it's one of those things, stay away from it, keep your mind clear, and do what you feel is right. Oh, it is definitely a dying art. In this community, in the Cornville area, almost everyone cans. They have their own fruit trees. They have a lot of vegetables. So if something would happen, the people in this community aren't going to starve. They might not go to the store, but they have their own food. So it's something everybody should have, a greenhouse of some sort. The difference between fresh fruit and fresh vegetables versus going to the store, they're pretty fresh there, but you don't know what they've done to get it there. So a friend Scott of ours, Scott and Ashley, they do a lot of their own planting, and their vegetables taste so good.
Hire us to tell your story. As an independent team of filmmakers, we love producing documentaries for artisans of all trades, honoring skill, passion, and determination.
The fruits of our labor literally creates happiness.
Founded in 2020, we harness our collective experience and enthusiasm for storytelling to deliver content that resonates with viewers on every level.
Think big and think outside of the box.
We avoid the constant noise of clickbait news and outrage headlines, instead crafting more intimate narratives that touch on the purpose of life itself. Stories that not only inform but also inspire, whether it's the art of agriculture, the science of fermentation, an innovative garage startup, or the intricacies of off-grid living. We're here to explore it all and invite you to join us in the discovery.
You're just working with what you have at hand instead of having unrealistic expectations.
We know the world is brimming with hidden stories waiting to be told. These are tales of ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
The biggest thing is to realize that there's nothing that you can't do.
Embodying the American spirit that with hard work, dreams really can come true. So whether you're a garage baker, homegrown mycologist, backyard farmer, or off-grid homesteader, send us a message and share your story with the world.